Washington, D.C. recently joined 5 other states in allowing same-sex marriage. People who oppose same-sex marriage tried to do an emergency appeal the night before the law passed. April 15th is tax day, and hundreds of Tea Party groups are rallying across the country. Thousands have traveled here to the Capitol, with the main message being, taxed enough already. Some big changes are coming to Twitter. The founders of the popular website announced today the launch of what they call promoted tweets. Last night, the House of Representatives passed the historic health care bill with a vote of 219 to 212, and no Republicans signed it. Last fall, the Washington, D.C. public school system laid off 266 teachers for a $43 million budget deficit. Now the school's chancellor, Michelle Rhee, is saying there's a $34 million budget surplus. That's all for this edition of District Wire News. I'm Lauryn Smith. Have a good night. Before the D.C. Superior Court opened its doors around 8 a.m. this morning, a long line of same-sex couples anxiously waited outside. Also joining them were some protesters.
Marriage is reserved for a man and a woman.
But they were outnumbered by supporters who were cheering and clapping. Because, for the first time ever, same-sex couples could apply for a marriage license in Washington, D.C.
I'm so thrilled that my government, my local government, does not discriminate against me. But just because it's the nation's capital doesn't change anything about the federal government. And the federal government still discriminates against gays and lesbians.
It was a long and bumpy ride for the new law to pass. Since D.C. is not a state, the law first went under congressional review, where there were several attempts to block it. Then, even the night before the law went into effect, opponents of same-sex marriage tried to delay it, but Chief Justice John Roberts Jr. turned down their request and let the law pass.
Excited. I'm really, really happy. It's a happy day. So, we've fought hard for it, and we've found love, so we're lucky enough to be here and experience it.
As a way to say congratulations, Georgetown Cupcake passed out cupcakes and pens to every couple. And although couples walked out of the courthouse celebrating the moment, they still had thoughts about the future on their mind.
We're hoping that obviously it's legal throughout the United States and that every couple that wants to can get married, man or woman, man and woman and woman. That's obviously a huge hope, so.
Although same-sex couples could apply for a marriage license today at the D.C. courthouse, they have to wait 3 full days before it's official. Lauryn Smith, District Wire News. Thousands of advocates and immigrants traveled from all over the country to march in front of the Capitol, wanting their voices to be heard by President Obama and Congress to make changes to the immigration policy. And while waving American flags high, with homemade signs in Spanish and English, they shouted out, "Si se puede,"
Si se puede, si se puede.
Meaning, yes, we can.
We're here to demand, to request kindly from President Obama to make his promises true, to give a legalization to the people that have been in this country forever and who are good citizens and who are being treated like criminals when they're not criminals.
During his first year in office, President Obama promised to make changes to the immigration system. Now in his second year, the outlook of signing a bill before the November midterm elections appears far off.
I think he's done good. I just think we need to push a little harder because, like a lot of the signs say around here, we've done our part and now we're waiting for his part. So we're hoping we see it soon.
The question surrounding lawmakers is how to handle the 12 million people living in the United States illegally. But what demonstrators want to see most is legal status given to immigrants, along with equal pay and for immigrants not to be treated like criminals. Thousands of people showed up today for the Immigration Reform March. There are a wide variety of reactions to the Obama administration. But one thing all people have in common is that they want to see change now. Lauryn Smith, District Wire News. Kites of all kinds were flying high on the National Mall. And to celebrate the art of kite flying and kite making, the theme for the 44th annual Smithsonian Kite Festival was Crafted for Flight. But what about the kites not really fit for flight? Where do they go? They go to the kite doctor.
And I love it because I worked with kites all my life, and I like helping people, and I like helping people fix their kites.
Before putting your kite in their hands, you should know that not all of the kite doctors went to kite school.
This place was just swamped. There were so many people that needed help with kites. So I decided, I was like a judge escort, I decided, oh, I'll come over and fix kites.
The kite doctors helped a lot of different kites, made, bought, donated, and some were even found.
Actually, I found this kite in the garbage. I didn't have one. And so I'm going to put it in the garbage because the string is all messed up.
No matter what the story of your kite may be, the kite doctors will make sure the wounded kite is back up and flying high in no time. Lauryn Smith, District Wire News.